struggle with point one. We're gonna move the cart through main. We could farmer see if you prefer
It's
to play
rough.
that as well. That might be better. So our Pharah is gonna do spam damage and try and boop somebody off the top left on the start. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then if somebody gets knocked down, we dive them. If not, we're just gonna chill on cart until it hits the choke, the archway. Once it hits the archway, we're gonna all leave cart and go up through the top left, the stairway, and we all have pretty good mobility, so that shouldn't take us too long. Once we have top left, we're gonna look for a target on their team who's squishy, like a Zenyatta, and we're gonna dive that target and mess them up. Cool?
Yep. All right. Who's taking lead on the jump on whatever squeaky is?
Winston.
It could be our main tank if you're comfortable with that, Sekret.
Yeah.
Or Tracer.
Call, like,
or Pharah can call directs.
Get as much information to you about who their squishy target is by calling their comp and where he's playing by scouting, and then just dive when you feel like you're at a good place to dive from.
Do you guys want Arcade? Do you want to set up on upper red so we can upper red?
To start, just move cart, and then we're gonna hold our mobility cooldowns so that way if our Pharah boops somebody off the high ground, we get a ton of value out of it. We can all jump with.
Yeah.
Mercy play mostly with our. I have a Hanzo.
Yeah. Hanzo used his Sonic.
Zarya, Ryan. We booped him. Speed. Focus the Reinhardt. You got him. Zarya now. Zarya's one. Oh, they got you.
Bear's on the
Pharah's half.
Yeah, hold on.
the arch.
No, he's got the Gillies behind him.
I'm right here with you guys.
You're not gonna hit him.
I'm gonna go upper red.
Mercy's alone, Mercy.
It's not your job.
Mercy used GA.
Alright, we want to be top left now. We don't want to be on low ground anymore.
Calling Guardian Angel is the most, like, bullshit thing to sometimes call, because it's on a 2-second cooldown. So, let's say Mercy was here, and she just used Guardian Angel. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, she uses it again, she's out. It's not enough time to, like, efficiently react. The only time, and also because considering your whole team is still not even through the choke yet, nobody's gonna be able to use any cooldowns to try to chase the Mercy afterwards. So, not a good time to call. If it was like mid-fight, like you're having a big brawl, then yeah, call Guardian Angel, because then you can just use a movement ability to get her quick. But otherwise, just useless.
The Ryan's can die though. Zarya. Nice. Focus on the Reinhardt. Yeah, actually, take high ground.
You should have X bound to healing, so you just hit X instead of doing the menu.
We want to dive their Zenyatta, okay?
Alright.
I see him playing in front of the well, in front of the fountain, okay? Are you ready?
He's with the whole team.
Yeah, but we want to dive him anyway. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be by himself.
Why are you just standing there? You could have walked in. You could have walked into here, blocked the shot, or taken less than splash, gotten a top off from a healer. Like you wasted. So first thing, you wasted some blinks to get up here, and then you wasted recall just now.
Oh, I need to be healed off then.
You don't. I'm gonna be going.
I'm dropping away for you for a second, Mercy.
Are we ready?
Call it.
Yeah. You ready?
Speeding us.
Let's do it.
On
You got a bubble?
Alright, on.
Why don't you flick? Why don't you, like... So, like, you look in series of, like, big strafe movements. Right? So, like, you will turn this way and then keep your mouse there, and then turn that way, and then keep your mouse there, and then turn that way. You want to actively try to track targets. It's especially useful if, let's say, you use a blink also. So what I mean by why didn't you flick is by when you blink forward, you do a 180 flick with your mouse. So now when you blink past the Zenyatta, you are looking at the Zenyatta once again, right? That's the whole purpose of, like, That's the whole. That's one of the main mechanics behind Tracer. So like, if there's a doorway, so like, let's say here's a doorway, and you're Tracer, and you're facing that way, and you blink the distance. If you do a 90-degree flick to your left, you're already looking into the hallway, and you will see any targets, and you can engage any targets immediately. Same thing for like if there is a target here and you're in their face right here and you blink to dodge them or basically bamboozle them, if you do a quick flick around, you now have the advantage again. And if you can do this in fast succession back to back to back, you're going to have the upper hand in terms of damage output, right? Because you can react faster and be always on target faster.
He's one.
One thing I can recommend to you, I know this is a scrim and all, but the main thing I recommend to you is doing the blink flick practice. So, per example, let's say you're standing, like let's take this building, right? There's a doorway right here, right? Take any map whatsoever that has a doorway of any sort or type, stand here, do the blink, and try to look into the hallway every time. You wanna ingrain muscle memory on how to do flicks and things. It's a lot to do with just aiming practice overall, just doing flicking. Because like that's the main portion where you use flicks on Tracer is for the blinks themselves. Because otherwise you're just doing tracking, right? You're following a target with your crosshairs. But when it comes to blinks and like being a good Tracer and being able to avoid a lot of damage but still take out targets is balancing the blink and then the flick so that you're still on target, avoiding damage yourself but also putting damage out. That's one key thing you might want to try to practice on.
Nice, that's big. Watch the fire barrage, okay? They have that ult, but you guys have a res.
I'm pushing their mercy away from fight.
Are we ready?
Call it.
Yeah. Ready?
Don't use blinks. Don't use blinks.
You got a bubble?
You use too many blinks. You use too many blinks. So like Mercy was a free target, you already used all your blinks, you only have one blink. Let's see. Okay, wait, 2 blinks.
Nice, that's big. Watch the fire barrage, okay? They have that ult, but you guys have a res.
I'm pushing their mercy away from fight.
Like your blink management could still use some work. I mean, it's not a perfect art, but basically you want to try to walk up to targets as much as you possibly can and only blink when you need to. Like up to this point so far, like there have been multiple occasions where you could have just walked up to someone instead of using your blinks.
Are they red
Mercy's in
then?
front. Mercy's in front.
I almost have.
Monkey, I can't heal you right now.
Yeah, I know. You got
Close.
Run.
Get it?
Sorry, has no friendly bubble.
Use high charge.
Friendly.
Res in 5 seconds.
Sorry, just use personal. Sorry, no personal.
Focus the Zarya, please. She's half. Sorry, one.
Zen on the right, Zen on the right, Zen on the right.
Mercy, just play solely with our fair here. We got this.
Yeah.
I recalled. My thing is terrible.
Good work there.
It's okay. Okay, heal a little bit.
Just
93,
play completely with our
Far.
Yeah.
Far.
There we go. Perfect. So we have barrage here. If you call out like a second before you want a barrage, I'll beat drop it if you're in my line of sight, and then we can get him in barrage and be safe. We should also try to DM it. Fall back.
Hunter. You got
Nice.
him. Oh, I got him.
Focus is Ryan with me,
We
Tracer.
got Zen.
Okay, nice. Zen.
Focus Ryan. Ryan. You got a bubble? Nice set. They're rezzing the Ryan.
Their far is alone.
He has shatter. Nice. We're still winning this. Don't worry about the res. It's big though. Focus down there right now.
He's one.
Nice.
Heal me up. I'm gonna dive through Zen.
As far as like really hard carrying.
I can use those.
Zen's low.
Fall back.
Got him. Their Hanzo's one.
Where? I've got Val.
Exactly. Where?
Their Farah can die here. She's one.
She's low. She's dead.
Where?
Nice.
Hunter's inside the little room. Up left.
Good. I like that.
I'm gonna barraging for now.
Okay, cool.
That's a good call out.
Another Hanzo top left, damage.
Top left in the room.
I'm coming over.
Top left. Good.
I'm stopping them. Just keep
Nice
pushing.
coming in 8. He shattered us. Good barrage, dude. Excellent, excellent.
Dead highlight.
Pushing Diva off point. I'm keeping him off.
Their
Diva,
Mercy
Diva,
is on
Diva.
the back.
Diving Hanzo, diving
Mercy's
Hanzo.
one.
This is weak.
One health.
Mercy. Alright, on Diva, on Diva, on Diva, 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 Diva. Alright.
He capped. You can leave her, leave her, leave her. Actually kill her.
Oh, let's
Wait,
get.
right side, right side, right side, right side. Or left, that's fine.
I still
I
get
just
ult.
call a direction so that way nobody gets indecisive.
Thank you.
You don't have to listen to it if you think you're safer to go a different direction. Just, I will always call a direction during that hunt.
The monkey's feeding. He has no mobility. Monkey, no mobility.
Just don't die for that, don't die for that, okay?
Yeah, no. I have the ability to do that.
Our Diva's kind of low.
Then
That one.
half.
Camping hills.
Tracer don't recall.
Their
Alright,
monkey's
can you
half.
just Valk in a second? Can you Valk?
Monkey's on cart with no mobility.
Monkey's dead.
Their Tracer's in the right side.
Then half.
Zen's probably low though. Nice. They've
Popped
out.
off.
Camping hills.
Oh, I'm getting
Nice.
flagged.
Mercy's half.
Their Tracer's in front by herself.
Yeah. Tracer used all her blanks on
Diva's no
top.
mobility. Diva's no mobility.
Five
One,
one,
look
Diva.
at one.
I have no bubble.
Their Mercy's on the front of card.
Nothing you can do but
I'm
farm.
diving.
When their enemies end trances, either you pulse bomb a target that's squishy, or you just farm ult.
Alright.
But do it safely.
My bad.
Try and break bubble. Alright, just back out, guys.
Generally, you do that is if you get a pulse bomb during the duration of the trance, you can actually directly stick the Zenyatta, who's generally going to be moving very laterally and easily, or staying in one spot. So it's an easy stick. So if you kind of get used to and know the, excuse me, if you know the duration of like a transcendence, you can kind of time it to the end and then just hit a pulse bomb and kill the Zen.
I have barrage.
The problem with scrims is that scrims is more reliant on like team communication. Right? It's comms, it's shot calls. And this is this is basically two categories, micro and macro, for the most part, right? There's other calls as well, informational things that are, I guess, part of micro calls that really assist overall fights and things, but it's communication, it's shot calls, so communication things like Hanzo is top left on the balcony, Hanzo is bottom left in the bank, Hanzo is top right, Widow back behind us, top left, top right, you know, information like that. Not like if you call a target and go like Mercy's one. Where? Mercy's one on payload. Oh, payload, let me use my jump pack to get in on Mercy onto the payload, and I guarantee you the jump pack will probably kill her if she's actually one. That's a lot of it, like communication in terms of like informational stuff of locations of targets and someone that may be split. Oof. Okay. That, and then a lot of success comes from just your own innate talent and ability, mechanical prowess, game sense, things like that. So like in terms of dives, so dive is extremely reliant on communication. And let me pull up my Scrim VOD from last night. Not an events. Scrim. Where's Oasis? I think it was towards the end. Kings. I think Kings was our last. Yeah, Oasis was before that. Okay, we go back. Here's the first starting fight on Oasis. In terms of communication, this is... Here we go.
They're gonna be running dive 100%. Yeah. I'm gonna switch. Let's switch that things. We're going dive? Brig? Yeah. You want a brig or? We're going dive. We're going dive. Come on. Lucio and Mercy? Question mark? Alright. Lucio and Mercy? No. Just keep this. Keep speaking inside.
So, listen here. It's coming.
Alright, better keep crawling. Yeah, they're dead. Alright, I'm going point.
They're going hookah. Mercy one. Mercy one. Back left.
I'll push back. She's dead. Zin one. I'm in there.
So it's really hard to think of like directional calls and such, especially if you have to like kind of guess like which way is your team facing. So calling directs is a huge component of playing far in a dive comp. It's like the number one thing you gotta call directs because even in the air pharmacy battles, so like let's say you direct Pharah, your Winston can jump up and your Diva can fly up to the enemy Pharah and help finish her off. And because like even one or the other can do that, honestly, because like it's just enough damage burst that it literally kills a Pharah.
Monkey's dead. Diva. Oh, the widow.
Widow's dead.
Good shots. Huge call driver. It worked out perfect. I was right there.
Yeah, dude. That was amazing. They swapped already.
They're going far left.
I think I swap.
Yeah.
I go McCree here eventually.
For snipers.
Yeah, so they went for like a double sniper tactic,
Tell me when they're jumping. I'm jumping their.
like a double sniper dive.
Widow have on pillar. Yeah, our spawn. They're on pillar. They're on build though. They're left.
Oh, I want to Hanzo. The Hanzo?
Yeah, so like intel calls like that is like huge parts of like being DPS on either side, or even being like the off tank. Like you're calling directionals of like where the enemy is attacking from, so you're not surprised. Like, oh my god, someone just came up from the right. I had no idea.
He's out on the Zin. There's no one next to me. I'm open for. On their widow with you? Widow one.
Like that concussion was to make space. I whiffed this fucking widow so hard, dude. She was about to cuck me too.
Widow
Yeah.
still? What the fuck, dude?
We couldn't kill the widow. Monk ass, dude.
I tried.
Oh yeah. I tried the I tried the I tried the Overwatch League shortcut.
A really cheeky straight to point flank that
Yep.
that Philly taught us.
Dude.
Initiate with primal this fight?
If you can bump them around, I can reroll.
Fuck.
I go one on
Let me heal up.
Okay. That's it. I tried with surprise. What a
Yeah, it didn't work. Then I go McCree.
I'm gonna go through hookah and then initiate with primal and knock.
Alright, I'll hear.
Alright. I'm moving up. Alright. I'm jumping now on top. On the Zen.
Hanzo one!
Widow's this. I need help with this monkey.
Diva one. Diva mech. Watch bomb.
Resing right now.
I'm leaving back. Monkey's this. On monkey. Monkey. Diva.
Burn monkey.
I can burn monkey. Baby Diva, watch out. Baby Diva's gonna kill us.
Gotta go. Let's see.
Widow have? Big. Huge place.
Alright, let's look for Heine.
Top me up real quick.
We're 3.8 average, by the way.
High ground.
My peak's 4.1k.
Yeah, I'm just basically playing this doorway. Here.
It's because they have a widow. Then
Oh,
I
wait,
check,
never mind.
they don't have a widow.
Alright, I'm gonna let them come in.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to play the inside door there is because they're running dive. So like they're bound to dive anyone who's sitting up top, and they had the widow. So I would be at a disadvantage with the distance. So she would have a better and easier time of hitting me than I would of hitting her. Plus on top of that, she would do more damage than me because she has the whole charge shot range component, right? I don't. I have severe fall off, so I was going to play the high ground because I have high noon. if the dive goes underneath, I can just get up top here and just hit him with a fat high noon. But if they came up top, then same thing. I would have an advantage, right? I would be able to funnel enemies.
Yeah.
He's farming. I'm gonna
Oh, I remember this, dude.
he is.
Check this out. Dive comes in. There's a trance. My boy Yanalba, dude, came in thick.
He does one at Mega. On the monkey, slow time.
Divas 1 mega. Boom. She's out of mech.
We need either just get up there. Right, he's on point. Chris around point. Chris around. Oh, nice shot.
Genji?
Oh my.
Genji half, Genji half, Genji half, Genji half.
Oh, there's a Genji on me.
Genji one.
Reloading.
Lucio dead.
I did it in the reverse order. I did it in the reverse order because I felt like Monkey was a big of a distraction and issue to our team than Lucio there. So sometimes as a player yourself, you'll know the better call, depending upon the positioning of the enemy too. Because Monkey was basically getting some pretty big cleaves in on 2 or 3 targets at one time. So instead of going for the Monkey, instead of going for the Lucio, who has very like movement-esque abilities that it's going to be very hard to hit, I'd rather go for the Monkey who has no cooldowns anymore and just secure that easy kill. And then Lucio after that point would be an even easier kill because then I don't have to worry about this big bulky tank fucking up anybody else. Plus I was close to high noon, so it was like I can just farm Winston for high noon and then high noon to Lucio if he's doing a little spin around like a stripper pole. But it worked out. I just dinked her. Dinked him. Clicked his head, lol. But like that's kind of like the structure, right? Like someone's always calling some kind of target. We're calling plans. We're calling like low health targets. We're calling ability usage. We're deciding our ultimate usage and things like before the fight starts.
Oh, they saw me.
Back up.
They saw me. It's not useful.
Yeah, we can regroup.
Oh no, an enemy saw red pixels on a screen.
Black.
Alright, whatever. No.
Well, that was a short VOD, my dude. But I guess it's like the attacking portion of the scrim. But that's that. I'm sure as you already know the drill. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. If I'm not on Discord and I'm streaming, you just catch me on my stream. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed.